Hello everyone, my name is Syprose Kizito An. That is the name I was given when I was born. Syprose Kizito An was my father's name. Later on, when I got married, I acquired my husband's name, Syprose Kizito. So I'm Syprose Kizito as at now. I was born in Nyeri. My father used to work at Kingongo prison. That is where I was born. I understand Kikuyu so well. Later on, my father came to Kisumu. I started my nursery in Nyeri. Then my father got a transfer, came to Kibos prison. My father took me to a boarding school at a very early age. That is Luwak Girls Boarding, where I did my CPE and passed. Went to Nyakach Girls for my O-level. Then I went to Kisumu Girls for my A-levels. My father was polygamous. I have had 3 mothers. My mother was the first wife. The second was called Margaret, the late also, like my mother and my father. Then the last one, our surviving mother, is called Pamela Ochwada. I remember when we were growing up in my family, being the firstborn, I was really loved. My parents really loved me so much. My father wanted me to get the best, especially in terms of education. When I was growing up, those days, girls never used to go to school. They would get married at a very early age. But my father ensured that I got the best education. And of course, I also loved education. I passed my exams well and finished my education well. My family was very large. We were so many siblings. But my father united all of us. In fact, if you came to our family, even today, you will not know who belongs to which house. We are a united family. Of course, in a family, there must be quarrels here and there. People must fight a bit. And of course, that is what makes the family. But my father taught us to say sorry when you do something wrong, to ask for forgiveness. He used to sit down with us as a family. We used to have family meetings every now and then. And in that meeting, he would tell us what is wrong in the family, the achievements we have made, where we did not do well. And it made me to learn that it is important for people to sit down as a family and dialogue and talk. And that way you are able to know the feelings of one another. People are given opportunities to air their views, and even the decisions which are made in the family are made together, so that each and every person owns whatever we have made in the family. And I think that was the background of my leadership. That as a leader, you have to give people opportunity to talk. You also have to listen to their views and their opinions. It is very important because it counts at the end of the day. And if you want people to own whatever you want to be implemented, then you also have to give them an opportunity to be part of it. went to school, and when I finished my A-level, I went to Kagumo Teachers College, where I pursued diploma in education. From there, I wanted to meet my dream of getting my degree, because I missed it with 1 point where in my A-level. I had very good marks in A-level, but missed with 1 point, and that is what did not make me to get direct entry into the university. But I'm one person who, when I've set a target, when I want to pursue a dream, I have to. So I worked for a few years, and then after that I went and did my first degree at Moi University, passed with second class honors upper, and after that I went to Catholic University and did my master's in education, administration and planning, and also passed with flying colors upper second. And my dream, of course, was to get a PhD, and that is what I'm pursuing now at Catholic University. I have already defended my thesis, and very soon I'll be graduating, and of course invite all of you again so that we celebrate this important milestone in my education line. I started teaching at, of course I was posted at a school in Uyoma. That was my first posting. I did not make it there. Sakwa, not Uyoma. Sakwa. I've forgotten the name. But later on, I was posted at Onjiko Boys. So that is actually where I started teaching after college. But before that, let me not forget, I also taught as a trained teacher. Those days you could teach as a trained teacher, fully employed by TAC. So I went to a school called Bar Union. That was my first school after A-level as a trained teacher. Then of course I've said after college I went to Onjiko Boys, taught there. Then I was transferred to Rai Girls. I didn't even report there. I went to Koru Girls. That is where I taught for so many years. And then from there we came to Eldoret. When we came to Eldoret, that was the time when the government decided that diploma teachers who are doing geography, who are teaching geography and CRE, especially art subjects, were to be deployed to support in primary. I took it with my heart and went and taught in primary. I taught in a school called Moroni. I taught at Central Primary. I also taught at Langas Primary. That was before I went to pursue my degree. So you can see I'm one person who can teach in any level, right from nursery up to university, because right now I'm teaching in various campuses in Kenya. When I completed my degree, I was taken back to secondary and I was posted to Songoliet Secondary School. At Songoliet Secondary School, I started as a teacher. I went to that school when it was very young. There was a principal who left immediately. The second one also came and left immediately. when I was acting both as a teacher and an acting principal. From there, I got my promotion to be the principal of the school. And that is where I taught for 17 years. I was at Songoliet Secondary School for 17 years. From there, I was transferred to Rigi Secondary School. That was last year, 2023. Of course, it came with a lot of controversies because my students did not want me to leave Songoliet. They went on, let me call it a strike. They walked all the way from school to the DC's office to make sure that their principal is not transferred. But we had to make them know that in our profession, you can be transferred anytime. So for me, promotion, transfer to Rigi Secondary School was God sent, because that was a promotion for me, coming from a sub-county school to an extra county school.
So bila kupoteza wakati, ningependa tuende mbele za Mwenyezi Mungu kwa sababu
let me talk about Songoliet Secondary School. As I've said, I went to that school when it had 9 students. I was a teacher. The principals who were there, I've said, left. And so I remained in a school where there was no principal and there was no deputy. We were only 3 teachers. And that is how my promotion also came, so that I can head the school. But it is a school of 9 students, and one classroom, and what used to be a teacher's house. There was barely anything in that school. When we started that school, it wasn't easy. When we closed the school, the term began, and I went to school and found when all the students had left, they had gone to other schools. The government had declared that a school could only receive government funds if the school had 40 students and above in each class. So the students decided to run away. I remained with the students, with the school without students, and we were 3 teachers. I was the only TSC teacher, the rest were BOM teachers. So some people came and told me, "Madam, there is nothing you are doing here, just go and look for another school. There is going to be no school." But when I looked at that school, I knew it had potential. I told the people who were trying to discourage me that there is going to be a school here. So I embarked on looking for students. On a bicycle. Those days there were no piki-pikis. And with my body size, I would stop some of these border people, and they look at me and they say, "Madam, you cannot fit on this bicycle. Just walk." So I accepted to walk, but sometimes I would get so tired. And I was walking from one home to another, looking for students. One day I got a lift in one of those bicycles, and we fell down, both of us. And if you look at me properly, I got a bad injury on my hip that makes me limp up to today. That is what it means to be passionate about what you do. So we looked for students, and our first students were, let me just say, they had just to be students, people who have done KCPE. So long as you sat KCPE, we were not looking at marks. So long as you are a human being and you have done KCPE, we would admit you to school. I remember my first students were mothers and fathers. I had to pester them. Some of them had divorced and they were back to their homes, and I pestered them. I had to explain to them the importance of education. And I remember some of my students, they were fathers and mothers. They would take their children first to school before they report to school. So what I'm trying to say here is that reporting time to school was not a big problem for us. So long as you could come to school even for 2 hours, that was just okay with us. There was this one student of mine who would ask for permission to go and smoke before getting into class. And a few also joined us. And I created a smoking zone in the school. Why? Because I wanted to maintain them. So at break time, I would give them permission to go and smoke. And then there were these mothers. If it reaches 3 p.m., they are going to the market. They want to go to the market and buy food for their families. You give them permission. Absenteeism was not a problem. If they come to school on Monday and come back on Friday, we even reward them for coming back to school. And so together with the few teachers that were there, the 3 of us, we looked for students and we managed to get about 39 students from that community. And I said, yes, there is going to be a school here. By the way, because we were only 3, we taught all the subjects. Personally, I taught maths and business education. I was trained geography and CRE. Later on, when I went to do my degree, I did English literature. So I had 5 subjects with me to teach, plus PE. Then the rest also taught other subjects. Well, there were times I would go to class to teach maths, forget about what I was taught by one of the teachers from Chepkigan Secondary School, and call again in the middle of the lesson, leave the class so that he can explain to me what he taught me, so that I can also go and teach. It was quite interesting. There were no facilities in the school, no laboratory. I remember us doing experiments on 2 drums. 2 drums. And all of us were chemistry teachers. We do the experiments, once in a while we fail miserable with the chemicals popping and fire and so on. But that one did not stop us. There was no kitchen. You'd ask parents to pay money for lunch and they don't pay. And from our pockets, we fed the few students who were there. Those who accepted to pay anything small, we moved on with it. And slowly by slowly, as the years went by, that first year, with all the challenges, we reached at a point where we were now supposed to do KCSE. And That is, after 4 years, our students sat for their first KCSE. And who is God? Plus hard work, we managed to get a mean score of 3.66. We managed to take a few of those students to campus. And that was the beginning of the success of that school. When people heard that there was a school there that had taken students to campus, all roads led to Sokodiet Secondary School. And so when the school opened after the results, we got over 100 students joining us. And within a very short time, we were on the second stream. We worked so hard with the teachers who were there. Of course, I had started getting teachers from TSC, started posting teachers. The board of management was very cooperative. The PA, the parents started loving their school. The sponsor of the school, that is AIC, really supported the school. Everybody started looking at that school positively, and that also encouraged me. And together with the teachers who were there, I explained to them what I wanted, and they understood what I wanted. My first milestone was to put up infrastructure. But then we also realized that you cannot just have infrastructure with students and there are no results. So that milestone of putting up infrastructure also came up with results. I was putting up infrastructure in the school, building, looking for money left and right. I was known to be a beggar, walking from one office to another, looking for even a chair, looking for even a computer, and encouraging the teachers and encouraging the students. And before we could realize, the school went to 3 streams. And when we reached there, I knew now this is a school. And people started recognizing me in the education office, Ministry of Education, that I am doing some commendable work there. People started supporting the school. I want to talk about Commissioner Cleophas Tirop. His home is not very far from that school. He really encouraged me in that school. In fact, when I became a principal, he talked to me and guided me, having been a principal in national schools, that is Kapsabet Boys and Nairobi School. And Commissioner Tirop also supported us in so many ways. The Harambes that we were having in school to build the laboratories that we did, he bought for us tables for that laboratory, Harambee to start administration block, and even looked for sponsors for us to build for us classes. One of such sponsors was Copycat that did 2 classes for us. I want to really appreciate Commissioner Tirop for first of all believing in me and the support that he gave me. And these are people that I really appreciate. I don't know if you will feel bad if I tell you that this is your school. I have given it to you. Arab Songok, jenga hii shule. Fikisha huko, library hatuna. Tuko na wasichana hapa wanataka kulala, hawana dormitory. Hatuna library, hatuna vitu mingi. Hatuna administration block. Kuja, karibu, endelea. Whatever that God will give you, kindly continue sharing with these children. Slowly by slowly, the school started becoming big. And one time I got a transfer that I'm being taken to a bigger school, an extra county school. I declined. One, because it was far and my husband's health was not very good that time. So I wanted to be near so that I can take care of him. Two, I didn't want to go to a school that somebody has made to become big. I believe that I could also make the one that I have to become big. So I went to TSC and told them, give me a chance to make this school big. But no, Mrs. Kizito, we are giving you a promotion. I told them no. Let me promote myself at Songoliet Secondary School. Believe me, you are taking me to a 4th stream school. I'm going to make Songoliet to be 5 streams. And that is exactly what I did. By the time I was leaving Songoliet, that was last year, the school, the Form 1s that we admitted last year, they were 5 streams. What am I trying to say to my fellow teachers and those who will be promoted to be principals? When you are given a school, first of all, remember there are so many people who can lead that school. So when you are given that school to lead, please do it with all your heart. Don't always look for other schools. Don't always eye other schools that are bigger than yours. You can work hard and make your school to be big. I'm talking from experience. If you are an organized principal, involving the teachers, involving the community, involving the board of management, working together in that school, making sure that you produce results, building the school, that school will definitely become big. I went to Rurigi Secondary School. When I was going to Rurigi also had issues. They did not want their principal to leave. The same way my students did not want me to leave. And the principal of that school was also determined. He also had a feeling that he had stayed there for some time. He wanted to have a change. So I went there with all the things that had happened, students walking up to almost reaching town. They were going also to the DC's office. It was not going to be an easy place to land in. I landed, and I want to thank the board of management for enabling me to land in that school. And the students were wondering, a lady principal, because all through they had never seen any lady principal in that school. I went there and I shared with the teachers, after staying there for a few days, what I wanted for that school. And I really want to, at this point, to appreciate Rurigi Secondary School family. from students to the teachers, support staff, and board of management, and even the community and the sponsor of the school. After sharing with the teachers what I wanted, we had several meetings analyzing the results, analyzing the students, the discipline of the school, looking at a few challenges that are there. And together with the teachers, we agreed on how we were going to move forward.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear father. Happy birthday to you.
So, because father is going for mass, si mumeona birthday to our loving father, si ndio? Our sweetheart, si ndio? So our sweetheart aende akule na sweethearts wengine, si ndio? Sawa. So father, this is. I also take part in church activities, church leadership. For the last 3 or 4 years, I've been involved in church leadership. I started with Cathedral, where I was selected as the CWA chair. Work that I did when I was a principal. And because I talked to God and told God, this is also another responsibility that I'm having apart from the school, God understood me. God understood my prayer. And the school went on so well and did so well that year. And it is because of God. Currently, I'm the chairperson of CWA, moderator of All Saints. And this has come at a time when I have retired. I'm so excited about that position, and especially now that I've retired, I've told God I'm really going to do it to my best. And anything that I will be given to do in church, from now on, I will do it with all my heart, because I am now the manager of my time. I have a family, I have children, 2 boys and 1 girl. In 1990, I married the love of my life, Kizito An. And together we got 4 children. Unfortunately, 1 left us. That is Dominic. I named him after my father. Kiki left us when he was in class 7. He was at Buka Primary. Those are some of the things that have really affected me in life. Losing a child is not easy. But sometimes I say it is good to be a teacher. Children can heal you. I remember feeling so sad and feeling so devastated about that death. But when I went to school, and with all the children around me, the students around me, they helped me go through it. So I've said that together we had 4 children. Unfortunately, in 2017 also, my spouse left us to be with the Lord. That was also a very difficult time for us as a family. We were 6, 2 left us, and I said, it is good to love your God. It is good to be with your God, to trust in your God, because God helped me to go through it, through the 2 deaths. For those who meet me, they meet a very jolly person, always laughing, but deep inside my heart, it has not been very easy to let go the death of my 2 members of my family. That is my son and my husband. But God has been with us, and we really just want to thank God. I decided that I have to be strong for my remaining children, and together things have been going on well. God has been journeying with my children, journeying with me, and we are where we are today. I love my 2 families so much. I am married in the Amimos family. My late father-in-law was my father was his student. That is how I knew my husband. One time he came with his son to visit our home in Kibos prison. And when I went to school, that is at Luat Girls, in class 7, Kizito wrote me a letter. And I remember being caned thoroughly because the sisters who were my teachers read that letter. I was thoroughly caned. And that was just an application letter, teachers, surely. That was an application letter. On that letter, you could clearly see that I was not involved. I had not even, he had just come to our home, and he had written that he loved me. And I had not replied. So I got the canes because the teachers caned me because, first of all, they were wondering how could I entertain talking to him when they visited me, when they visited our home. But one thing led to another, and we got married. Life is life. Once in a while, as I've said, things can be so good, and once in a while, things can be so bad. There are times when people understand you. There are times when people don't understand you. It happened when I was a teacher, when I was a principal. There are times when things just go wrong. There are times when they are right. But life has to move on. As I was saying, I love my family so much. Where I got married, I have so many sisters-in-laws. I have my brothers-in-laws. I have my fathers-in-laws. I have, and I love them so much. my home was Siri, where I was born. I said earlier that it is a polygamous home, so it is a very large home. But I love my siblings. I love my stepmother. I love my family members so much. Sometimes people don't realize how much you love them, especially in a family. And it can really discourage. But I would encourage each one of us that these are normal things that happen in families. I am one person who likes things moving. I am one person with a lot of determination. When I've decided to do something, I pursue it. I like achieving things that I've set to achieve, be it in education and so on. And just as I said, that is the reason why at 60, I am pursuing my PhD. When I make a mistake, I say sorry. But I also don't like people intimidating me. I'm also one person who does not just say yes because people are saying. I think twice before I say yes or no. And when someone is not in the right direction, I say no and correct. And of course, there are people who don't like that. There are people in life who don't like being corrected. I don't do that. When somebody makes a mistake, I tell them, look here, this is not right. I don't have a feeling that this was done well or it was correct. Of course, there are people who will get annoyed with me. But I usually feel very nice when I've corrected someone.
Lisa, karibu, pole pole. Chazira.
Beni tumemtunza. Si tumemtunza vizuri? Na ni mrembo zaidi. So asikuja achape hapa kwa village. Asikuja atumwe aende akachote maji, aende akatafute kuni. Si mnaona venye anakaa. So tumemleta apumzike, apewe amani, aishi na amani. Mungu awabariki kwa kureceive.
Thank you so much.
Basi kwa majina naitwa Syprose. Mimi nilikuwa nasimamia walimu pande hii nilipokuwa commissioner na TSC, na ningependa kusema Syprose Kizito, pongezi sana. Tupige makofi. Ile shule alikuwa principals wa Walia ni patron na tunafanya mambo mengi. Tuongea baadaye. Kwa ufupi, aliamsha hiyo shule kwa watoto 9. Sasa hivi kuna watoto 1,000. Makofi sana. Wale watu wa Chinga tunawarudishia mama Iron Lady.
We love you, we care about you, we have seen your transformation and the way you have touched life. That is why today the big institutions are here to say asante.
Kuwa ni a good lady. The things that we saw in her, she was very charming. Ni mtu mzuri, kila wakati anachangamka, na tukaona ya kwamba yeye alikuwa ni mfanyikazi. She is a worker. This lady, the community ya hapa, huyu ni mtu wa kufanya kazi. And therefore, katika community kama kuna kazi ambayo imewalemea, kuna mfanyikazi. She's a very good mobilizer. For the short time that she was in school, she did so well and mobilized, mambo mengi yakafanyika, hata yale yalikuwa hajafanyika. And we learned that she's a very good listener. Kila wakati alipenda kusikiza wanafunzi, alipenda kusikiza walimu, alipenda kusikiza sisi board, alipenda kusikiza community. And then she's a team builder. Tuliona kwa huo muda mfupi. And that's why you find that the staff here wako hapa, nafikiri hakuna staff ambaye amebaki. They are all here. And then hey, this lady is a game changer. She came and she did things that we never expected. Hatukujua mambo mengine tulifikia yanafanyika vizuri, lakini when she came and badilisha mambo and things went on so well. And she's a very good midwife. Mnajua mkunga piga kona nje ndamega onge ndebya sa tapsikisio I understand that language. She's a good midwife. She midwifed so many things at Rurigi, and the greatest thing that she midwifed is getting Rurigi out of a county school to sub-county to extra county.